Faith Odhiambo will not let you down. The bloodshed of our comrades must not be in vain. And no, I will not take any prisoners. I will instead keep you informed of the developments, and at no point shall I act to negate the gains.
A big shame on you to Faith Odhiambo. You have chosen the few millions of shillings in sitting allowances that you would earn over the great honor that Kenyans had bestowed upon you.
The political ground has shifted once again, this time not because of a politician's speech or a roadside rally, but because of a bold act by a young woman who decided to draw a line. Faith Odhiambo, the president of the Law Society of Kenya, LSK, has officially resigned from her Statehouse appointment, stunning both President William Ruto and Raila Odinga. Her decision has sent shockwaves through the corridors of power and reignited the fire of defiance among Kenya's restless youth, the Gen Zs.
What we are saying is that we hope we have gotten footage of some of these officers. We will hold you personally accountable. I said the law is never silent, and we will prosecute you, will petition our courts to hold you accountable.
Faith Odhiambo's resignation came just months after Ruto appointed her as the Vice Chairperson of the Compensation Committee, a panel meant to oversee payment to victims of demonstrations and protests. The idea behind the committee was to calm the political tension after the deadly protests that shook the country earlier in the year. Protests largely driven by young Kenyans who accused the government of arrogance, brutality, and economic betrayal.
And this division has been engineered by the appointment of Faith Odhiambo to the illegal panel of compensation of victims. Majority of the members whom I speak on behalf of today are of the position that the appointment was illegal, and Faith Odhiambo should not in any way have taken that appointment. But
instead of bringing healing, the committee itself became a source of controversy. Critics saw it as a political trap disguised as goodwill, a tool to whitewash government responsibility and silence those who had lost loved ones in the streets. Faith Odhiambo's involvement in the committee drew sharp criticism from lawyers, civil rights groups, and young activists who accused her of abandoning the independence that the LSK presidency demands.
Her taking up appointment and being a senior ranking member of the society and the legal profession undermines the sole purpose of this constitution, the sole purpose of this profession, which is to defend the rule of law.
The pressure built up fast. Lawyers began questioning how the head of an independent professional body could serve in a political committee appointed by the same government the LSK often challenges in court. Gen Z activists, the same group that flooded streets to demand justice for slain protesters, called her appointment as an insult to their struggle. The message from the youth was simple: you can't serve the victims while working for the system that created them.
A big shame on you to Faith Odhiambo. You have chosen the few millions of shillings in sitting allowances that you would earn over the great honor that Kenyans had bestowed upon you. Every lawyer knows that when an individual is murdered, the primary and core form of justice is criminal accountability of the perpetrators through criminal prosecution to punish those wrongdoers.
Faced with a growing backlash, Faith Odhiambo finally broke her silence. In her statement, she announced that she had handed in her immediate resignation to the head of public service. Her tone was firm, her words deliberate. She made it clear she was stepping away from the committee, not because of fear, but because of principle. For many young Kenyans, that statement was more than just an announcement. It was a stand against hypocrisy and doublespeak in high offices.
So we should not infringe on the constitutional rights of the members of the public and met such violence.
Her resignation also came at a sensitive time for the Ruto-Raila partnership, which has been built on the promise of political calm after the deadly protests. Both leaders had agreed to work together on the compensation plan as a way to appease the angry public and show that they cared about justice for victims. Faith Odhiambo's exit now leaves the project hanging in the air, its credibility questioned and its future uncertain.
Faith Odhiambo will not let you down. The bloodshed of our comrades must not be in vain. And no, I will not take any prisoners. I will instead keep you informed of the developments, and at no point shall I act to negate the gains that we have made together as a country.
I want to echo my Vice Chair's emphasis that this particular effort is victim-centered. It is impartial.
For President William Ruto, this is a political blow. He had hoped the committee would serve as a symbol of unity and reconciliation, but with Faith walking away, it now looks like another failed public relations move. For Raila, the resignation exposes a deeper problem, the perception that he has gone soft and compromised the opposition's moral authority by aligning too closely with the government. The two leaders, once fierce rivals, now share the embarrassment of watching their peace-packed lose face in front of the very people it was meant to comfort.
As a matter of fact, the LSK Council, there is a section of members who are now pro-government working for the state.
Gen Z, however, is celebrating. Online spaces exploded with messages of support for Faith, calling her a hero and a symbol of integrity. Many saw her resignation as proof that Kenya still has leaders willing to stand up for what's right, even when power comes knocking. For a generation that has lost faith in politicians, this was a rare moment of victory. Her decision also revives an uncomfortable conversation within Kenya's professional circles, the growing trend of leaders accepting political appointments while still holding positions meant to remain independent. Faith Odhiambo's stand has now drawn a clear line between public service and political loyalty. She may have resigned from the committee, but she has earned new respect as someone who chose integrity over influence.
Faith Odhiambo kindly resign as the president of the Law Society of Kenya. We would like you to concentrate on the mandate that the president has given you. We want another person who respects the constitution and the rule of law to take over the mandate of leading lawyers in Kenya. Kindly resign from your position.
The court had earlier stopped members of the Compensation Committee from assuming office, pending a case filed by civil society groups. That legal setback had already stalled the project, but Faith Odhiambo's resignation might just be the final nail in its coffin. It is now unclear whether the remaining members will proceed or whether the entire idea will quietly die out, as so many government committees do when scandal hits.
But there are those of us who have amassed the courage to speak up and let the world know that the membership of advocates who are supporting public interest litigation advocacy to defend the constitution.
In a country where resignation is rare and accountability even rarer, Faith Odhiambo's move stands out. It's not every day that a young leader stares down the combined weight of Statehouse, political pressure and public scrutiny, and still chooses principle. Her exit has embarrassed the system but inspired the streets. For the young people who have felt ignored and betrayed by the political elite, Faith Odhiambo's act is a reminder that courage is still possible in a country drowning in compromise. And for the Ruto-Raila partnership, it's a rude awakening that not everyone can be bought, silenced or co-opted.
Members of the public should be allowed to express themselves. So we should not infringe.
Kenya may have lost a government appointee, but it may have gained something much greater, a symbol of integrity in a time when truth has become a luxury.
In fact, in such a case, compensation is not a form of justice. Compensation is a very secondary remedy that does not directly address the act of violence